I dread this, I dread this, I dread this, I dread this, I dread this. Ugh. Hey everybody, Sam here from Grand Acre Homestead, and today I dread what I'm about to do. What I'm about to do is new starter in the Jeep. Ugh. I'm gonna start off with going down to my workshop and getting all of the tools that I foresee that I will need for this project, which will be a lot of sockets, a lot of extensions, some wrenches, and that kind of stuff. We've got the jacks at the Jeep, and we have some car ramps and stuff. Since the Jeep starter is out, I can't start it up and drive it up onto the ramps, so I'm gonna try and jack it up enough to sit the vehicle back on the ramps. It's the safest thing I have as far as holding the vehicle in place, unless I can find my jack stands, which that's a possibility. Anything's possible out here. So let me get some tools together and be right back. I don't want you guys getting too jealous of my awesome toolkit here and my organizational structure, but hopefully I've got all the tools I need between this bucket and the tool bag that's already up at the Jeep. We'll see.
And he was needing help, but
that's all right. I'll use your help. Here's a look at what Crazy Sam's got cooked up in his head. We've got four-wheeler with a winch on front, 1,500 pound capacity, hooked to the back of the Jeep. We've got the four-wheeler then connected to the truck with a strap, and we've got the ramps up here under the front wheels facing backwards. So, what in the world have I got in my mind? Put the Jeep in neutral, use the four-wheeler's winch to pull the Jeep up onto the ramps slowly, carefully. At the same time, probably putting the 7-year-old in the Jeep to operate that handbrake if something happens crazy, but all the while going very slow and careful to hopefully pull it up on the ramps, no issues. The truck's purpose, it's an anchor for the four-wheeler. Otherwise, the four-wheeler's winch will just drag it forward to the Jeep. So, fingers crossed, prayer said, let's rock and roll and get it done. All right, listen for me. Okay. We're gonna go really, really slow, so it's all right.
Okay.
I'll be able to talk to you right here, okay?
Okay. Under now.
All right, ready?
Ready.
All set, you can go ahead and get out.
I just think it's our venue home. Come inside. Okay. Get out.
Oh, that worked like butter.
Like butter.
Very, very nice. As you saw, I was very, very slow and careful, methodical. I would go a little ways. I'd walk up here at the front. I'd check the ramps, make sure the tires looked good, that they were running on the ramps correctly, centered, and everything was good. And it worked. So, friends, family, strangers, and people of all ages, That's how you get a vehicle that won't start, that's all-wheel drive, that you don't have the ability to push it. You have a four-wheeler and a truck and some straps and a winch. That's how you get up on some ramps. There you go. Now with this thing up on the ramps, I can get under it a lot more easier and start hammering down to find the old starter, take it out, and put the new one in. I did the starter in this Jeep probably about 5 years ago, and at that point I had to take the front drive shaft out of this thing to get it out. This is an all-wheel drive Jeep, so it's a pain in the butt. I watched some YouTube videos, and I'll put a link down below. This is not going to be a how to do it with this Jeep necessarily, but I'll put some links down below to other videos I've watched to give me some ideas and tips and tricks. Someone says that you can, in theory, take the starter out from the front without removing the drive shaft. So I'm going to test that guy's theory first. If that doesn't work, then I'll take the drive shaft out. Either way, I'm excited. This thing's on ramps. Nothing traumatic happened. Got to use some tools, and that's pretty awesome. So let's get under the Jeep. Let's get working. Where we're going, we don't need shades. I use a patented method of camera tripod here called scoop the gravel into a mountain and sit the lens on the mountain to hold the camera. It is trademarked, so if you use it, it's trademarked. Alrighty, well, it's gonna be a nightmare, a nightmare, a nightmare. Can't even get up in there, can't even touch it, can't do nothing. Here's the sign of a man prepared for battle. It's got a 15mm socket on the end of an adapter, on the end of a wobble, on the end of 2 foot worth of extensions with a 1/2 inch ratchet of power at the end. It's the sign of a man about to crawl under the car, bury half himself somehow into the underbellies of this vehicle and this beast, and hopefully get 2 bolts out. I don't know how this saga is going to play out, folks. I don't know what the story is going to end with. Success, failure, vanquishing the beast, or being consumed by it. All I can tell you is that camera doesn't really fit down there very well, other than just getting butt shots and feet shots and probably breaking the camera by rolling on it. So the action will have to unfold. I'll come up for air every once in a while, touch base with you guys, but honestly, hopefully I'm hoping that I'm gonna crawl into this thing, spit and cry for about 5 minutes and come out with the starter. That's the best case scenario that lies ahead. Did I say yet how much I hate this? I just now got the starter out, and I think I've been down there for about 45 minutes, going from under the car to above to actually end up taking the inner wheel well out of the wheel and dragging it out that way. Got some pretty nasty cuts on my arm, trying to fish my arms down through the engine bay to get it out, but that being said, here it is. Obviously we got ourselves a little oil leak with the Jeep there. This is pretty nasty and grimy. And the new one is right here. So let's go ahead and hook it up and put it back together. So down in here is where I drug the starter out. Kind of goes over the frame, and I can toss it down in the hole and then finagle it down there. There's the look of where the starter comes in and out from that I could figure out. It's above the frame rail, behind the wheel well cover on the driver's side. Then from up top, you can see it right here. You can fish it on down between the header and the other crap to get it back down there in place, and then finish it out down from below. So there's a look at the starter. Down there, as far as I could get it, it's below the down tube of the driver's side header, below the steering linkage, below the master cylinder, below wiring harnesses, below vacuum lines, below the roll bar, strut bar, and everything else. What a nightmare. So in this case, I think it is probably It could be assumed that you could get the starter out this way without disconnecting the front drive shaft. However, I don't see how any grown person's hands can fit up there without the drive shaft being out of the way. So try it if you want to, but I would say go ahead and disconnect the drive shaft anyway to be able to try and fight it out that direction. The whole reason that it had to go that way is because the wires were too short to bring it down from the top enough for me to disconnect everything underneath it. So I had to find an alternate route to get the thing up enough to where I could undo the wires and connections on the back of the starter. Again, it's absolutely stupid design. Stupid design. Alright, I'm getting underneath the car. I'm going to finish it up. I'll see you guys in a second when I crawl back out for air or something. I feel like it's like an hour later. I just got off the Jeep. I had both the boys down there helping me, holding sockets and twisting them, and I think I'm finally done though. Everything's put back together at least. So now it's time to hook the battery up and really hope that this thing starts and it's all fixed. Let's see. Alright, who wants to play 1000 tool pickup? That was horrible. That was horrible. I will never ever do that again. I will never do that again. You all hold me to it. Everyone be witness. If the starter goes out on the Jeep again, I'm paying the money for a mechanic to do it. I'm paying for a tow truck, and I'm going to smile and be happy and giddy and watch this video again to remember why I will happily pay for someone else to do that. I hope you're not in the same boat as me where you are forced to do this repair yourself in your driveway because of money reasons and you thought it was probably going to be easy-ish. It's a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. There is nothing harder mechanic-wise I think you can ever do on a vehicle than replace the starter on a Jeep Grand Cherokee. My hands are clean, but they are still black. Oh boy, this is going to take a long time to get this junk off of me. I'll have to use some of Angela's special gardener soap. Link down below for that there if you haven't tried any of her soap. It's a top #1 shelf good, #1 American customer #1. Great soap. It does really good for getting the grime and grit and gruff off of your hands from being Mr. Mechanic or Miss Mechanic. Ugh. Either way, I am done. I am thankful. I am so glad that that actually fixed it and that was the problem. I did do some diagnostic tests beforehand, check the relays, check the wires, check fusible links, did all of the checks because I really dreaded doing that and I didn't want to spend the $180 for the starter, but apparently that was it. Well everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure you did, much more than I enjoyed making it and doing it. But either way, I really appreciate you all here watching, sticking through to the end, giving us a thumbs up, and helping support our little channel. It means a lot to all of us. Alright, I'm done. The boys are done. Dinner's not done, so we better get that done too to make sure we're done. See you guys next time. Bye.